Detroit this evening, looking to avoid a third straight loss, and the roster is thin. On top of Pascal Siakam and Precious Achiuwa missing out, Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent are also unavailable. VanVleet has a non-COVID illness, and Trent Jr. is dealing with a sore right hip. Sportsnet 1 will have the game at the top of the hour. Happening now on the ice, Barzell to the lead. And across for Wallstrom, steps in, scores! A power play goal for Oliver Wallstrom. Yes, it's an early start in the nation's capital, and the Islanders have picked up a 1-0 lead over the Sens as we're through 20 minutes of play. Leafs are in Pittsburgh tomorrow. Goaltender Matt Murray set to start, making his return from an adductor injury. Leafs also announced that TJ Brodie will miss at least 2 weeks with an oblique issue, and Jake Muzzin will be reassessed in late February with a cervical spine injury. It is Hall of Fame night in downtown Toronto. The class of 2022 will be inducted at the Hockey Hall just over an hour at 7:30. And Week 10 in the NFL wraps up tonight with the 8-0 Eagles at home against the 4-5 Commanders. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
When we look into your eyes, we want to give you the whole world. But that's not a viable business model. So instead, we're offering you complete glasses from only $69. At Specsavers, we believe quality eyewear and eye care should be affordable to all, which is a little thing we call Specsavers love. Find out more at specsavers.ca. Conditions apply. Select pairs only.
Your independently owned and operated Meineke Car Care Center is here to keep your car road ready. From tires and brakes to exhaust and engine repair, Meineke is your one-stop shop for total car care. Get a basic oil change starting at $39.95 or a seasonal tire changeover starting at $49.95. Plus, get 50% off an alignment when you purchase 4 tires. Book your appointment at Meineke.ca. Terms and conditions apply. Engine, brakes, tires, oil. Meineke, doing car care right.
This is City News. Former U.S. Vice President Pence out with the strongest comments yet about the danger he was put in on January 6th, the role his boss played in inciting the violence. In a clip of an interview with ABC's David Muir that will air tonight, Mike Pence asked about the tweet Trump sent as rioters were storming the Capitol.
It angered me. But I turned to my daughter, who was standing nearby, and I said, it doesn't take courage to break the law. It takes courage to uphold the law. I mean, the president's words were reckless. It was clear he decided to be part of the problem.
The Pence interview comes a day before Trump is expected to announce a 2024 bid for the White House, despite many top Republicans urging him to hold off after the midterm elections. Traffic and weather next.
What I love about our award-winning voice remote from Rogers Ignite TV? What's that? It searches content from live TV and all our apps at once.
Well, what do you mean? You used to have to search each app, like one by one?
Yeah, we called it channel surfing.
Oh, that is so 2012.
Find your favorites faster across live TV and all your apps. Get an Ignite bundle starting from $99.99 a month on a 2-year term with 6 months of Disney Plus on us when you sign up. Visit Rogers.com for details.
Some things leave you guessing. Like, why are drugs so contagious? But you know who doesn't leave you guessing? MailChimp. MailChimp analyzes data from billions of emails to offer personalized recommendations for how to improve things like your email content and audience targeting. Guess less and sell more. #1 email marketing and automation brand. Intuit MailChimp. Based on competitor and publicly available data on what numbers customers in 2021-2022.
City News Time, 6:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. Airborne, Kyle.
I'm just flying over DuPont and Symington right now, which is west of Lansdowne. Closure of the intersection always. A dump truck hit a pole and took some wires down, which are still draped over the dump truck, so you can't get through in any direction here. Westbound traffic on DuPont and southbound traffic on Symington's crawling its way through the parking lot of a business, but you're turning around if you're approaching the intersection eastbound or northbound. Just take note of that. It's heaviest in the westbound direction here. We've got westbound 401 delays, 412 to Salem, the issue west of Bayview and the express cleared. That's busy approaching Kennedy, alternately express and collectors to Dixon through here. Then 427 to approaching Dixie collectors. Beyond that, not moving too badly. Eastbound 401 volume through Mississauga Road, approaching the southbound 427 ramp as well. From Dixon, alternately express and collectors to the Allen, and approaching Bayview to Lesse express and collectors. Then through Kennedy collectors and east of Westney to east of Salem. From the 680 Traffic Center, Carrie Brunskis.
It's a slow go on the southbound 400 as you approach approach the 407 in the collectors. That's because of construction in the left lane. And then busy again from Finch onto the westbound 401 ramp. Southbound on the 404 DVP, the stalled vehicle south of York Mills, that has cleared. It's still backed up as you approach Shepherd to York Mills, and then slows again on the southbound DVP from south of Eglinton to the Baby Blue ramp. The westbound Gardner is jammed up as you approach Jarvis to west of Strawn, and there's construction westbound on the lake shore from Young to Bay. It's down to a single lane, so a very slow go getting through this construction zone. And it looks like we have a new problem on the eastbound Gardner, just east of Spadina as you're heading towards the Jarvis ramp. Not sure which lane is blocked right now, but a heavy backup eastbound on the Gardner from the Humber Bridge to approaching Jarvis. Delays up the northbound Don Valley Parkway from Don Mills to York Mills. And there's a new problem in that backup on the northbound DVP. North of Don Mills, the left lane is blocked with a collision. We just had a brief problem on the northbound 404 north of Steeles, so it gets really heavy as you approach Steeles to north of it. If you've been injured, Diamond & Diamond is in your corner. Canada's largest injury law firm with over 60 lawyers. Call Diamond & Diamond for a free consultation. 1-800-567-HURT. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Rams, the high.
It's going to be a snowy, rainy, and cool week ahead of us here. We're waking up to wind chills of -7. Also, waking up to snow, and it's going to be on and off wet snow for different areas of the GTA as the week goes on. It's all going to be wind-driven lake effect snow. Tomorrow morning, it's the west end. Tomorrow afternoon, it's Toronto, and then into the evening, it's the east end. Heavy wet snow mixing with rain along the lake with a high of 3 degrees. Yes, there will be slushy accumulation, especially again away from the lake Tuesday and Wednesday. 2 days snowfall combined, probably close to about 1 to 3 centimeters for Toronto, and higher amounts through the east end. Watch for that wet snow continuing Wednesday with a high of 2. Thursday, partly cloudy, also a high of 2 degrees with those wet flurries continuing. A couple more centimeters of snow in the evening, and Friday, mainly sunny skies with a high of 2. Tonight, down to about -1, morning wind chill near -7.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, City News is in Scarborough tonight at Birchmount Park Collegiate Institute. A stabbing has sent a 17-year-old male to hospital in life-threatening condition. The latest straight ahead.
During Cora's Benedictine Festival, if you're feeling hungry like a wolf, you're going to love our steak with poached eggs and spicy cheesy hollandaise sauce. If you're feeling hungry like a wolf who's vegetarian, the Beyond Meat Benedict is for you. And if you're feeling hungry like a wolf with a sweet tooth, go for a poached eggs Benedict on the kale waffle. There are 5 new meals to satisfy your hunger.
I do breakfast at Cora's Breakfast and Lunch Benedictine Festival, only until January 1st. Who will be the next City News 680 junior traffic reporter?
We watch the entries and are choosing the semifinalists. Now help us find the next reporter superstar by voting at toronto.citynews.ca/contests.
The winners will be featured as a junior traffic reporter on City News 680.
Get a VIP virtual tour of the 680 newsroom. Plus, win a $500 cash prize for themselves and their school, courtesy of 407 ETR.
Get there faster with Highway 407 ETR.
The City News 680 Junior Traffic Reporter Contest. Get all the details at toronto.citynews.ca/contests.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll go find Ari with the Monday markets.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Appliance Canada.
It's coming. The time has come. The wait is over. It's the Black Friday sale at Appliance Canada, featuring offers too big to mention. This is not your ordinary sale. We've paired with our suppliers to give you the most ideal savings when you need it most. We're even layering promotions with some of our most popular brands. Plus, see our Cyber Monday deals online starting on November 28th. Don't miss out. See ApplianceCanada.com for details. For your home, for your life. Oh, marvelously.
Prices are dropping.
Oh, marvelously.
Time to go shopping.
Oh, marvelously.
Go, throw on the shades. Tangle your feet. It snows on repeat.
Celebrate Black Friday early in Sleep Country. For a limited time, buy one, get one free on select pillows. But hurry, this amazing offer ends soon. Shop now, only at Sleep Country. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
Business, Ari Rabinovich.
Well, not the greatest start to the week. After last week's gains, we saw losses to close out today's session. The TSX fell 190 points, or almost 1%, to close at 19,922. Now, commodities didn't help out Bay Street very much. In fact, oil fell $3.75 at just over $85 US per barrel. The price for gold was slightly higher by just over $5. $7.74 per ounce, and the Canadian dollar at 75.12 cents U.S. Now, following the news on Friday that FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange platform, had filed for bankruptcy, a new development over the weekend is that there may have been an incident of unauthorized access, which led to nearly $500 million vanishing, according to an analytics firm. In addition to this hacking situation, U.S. regulators, as well as in the Bahamas, regulators there are investigating the collapse of the platform, in which also the founder and CEO Sam Bankman-Fried reside, and he recently put his house in the Bahamas up for sale at about $40 million. Now let's go to Bloomberg for some more top stories out of the U.S. and a look at some of the losses seen for Wall Street.
Interest rate worries weighed on the market, despite dovish comments from a leading Federal Reserve official. LSD has tumbled 211, the S&P fell 36, the Nasdaq lost 127. Fed Vice Chair Laura Brainerd said the Fed should moderate the size of its interest rate hikes. She told Bloomberg this morning that she favors a slowing to a half-point increase as soon as the Fed's meeting next month. People are going back to the movies in a big way, with Disney's Black Panther Wakanda Forever topping the weekend box office. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
And at the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rubinovich.
Have you tried our honey stinger pizza? Made with hot soppressata, sun-dried black olives, and drizzled with chili pepper-infused honey. The perfect balance of sweet and spicy. Find out what all the buzz is about and taste the difference.
I have a question. Are commitments meant for people, not phone plans? I mean, if I ever promise till death do we part, you can bet it's not going to be the unlimited data. That's why I like public mobile. They keep things casual. There are no long-term contracts. Which, look, if we're being honest with each other, it's just better that way. I can't be tied down to a phone company, and neither should you. Public mobile. Mobility on your terms. Public mobile is not to be held responsible for any potential breakups as commercially imposed.
Well, tonight clouds, down to -1 overnight. Tomorrow morning, cloudy with flurries, 1 degree tomorrow afternoon, a rain snow mix, and 3. Overcast right now, 2 degrees, feels like -2. It's 6:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680 everywhere.
It's Monday, November 14th. I'm Slijana Tibinzik.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what you need to know.
A 17-year-old student is in hospital with life-threatening injuries following a stabbing at an East End high school. The full report is seconds away.
Bill 28 officially repealed. But how are QB contract talks going?
We are far apart.
Plus, details on the Ford government's mini-budget coming up.
Health Canada says it has secured a foreign supply of children's pain medication headed to pharmacy shelves across the country. That's on top of a previously announced shipment of medicine destined for hospitals.
The Raptors are down 3 starters for tonight's game in Detroit, and Leafs goaltender Matt Murray is back.
Based on what I observed in practice, very much looks ready to go.
Sports 45.
Markets were lower to start out the week, and the TSX was weighed down thanks to declines for oil. Losses for Wall Street included Amazon stock, which weighed down the Nasdaq. Business at 56.
City News Time, 6:31.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Metro Preparatory Academy. At Chopper 680, here's Kyle Hawking.
We're looking at volume delays on the 401, plus we have a minor issue on the westbound 401 west of Ranforth in the collectors, so just beyond the 427, left lane is blocked due to a crash. It's busy 412 to Salem, approaching Kennedy, alternately express and collectors to Dixon, and then 427 to west of Ranforth in the collector lanes with that left lane blocked. Beyond that, it's moving well though, and the eastbound 401 is slow from, just as you approach the south 427 Ranforth wall, then Kipling to east of Keele collectors to east of the Allen Express, and east of Westney to east of Salem. From the 680 Traffic Center, Carrie Prenskas.
On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, north of Don Mills, looks like that collision has cleared. So northbound DVP, it's still heavy from Don Mills to York Mills, and slow on to the northbound 404 from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. Southbound 404 Don Valley Parkway gets bunched up approaching the 401 ramps, then really busy as you approach Lawrence to the Baby Blue ramp. And the westbound Gardner is jammed as you approach Jarvis to west of Strawn. We still have construction westbound on the lake shore from Young to Bay. It's down to a single lane, so it's very heavy from Westbound QEW Gardner, it's slow from east of Erin Mills to Dixie, then jammed from the Humber Bridge to east of Spadina. That's where the left lane is blocked with a collision. The Metro Prep Academy will transform your grade 7 to 12 child into a young leader. Discover how at their open house Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. For details, visit metroprep.com. And now with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
We've got dry conditions through this evening, but by the time you wake up in the morning, it's wet snow mixed with rain. Now, it's pretty light in nature, but wet roads and sidewalks means a slow morning commute. For the West End, that's where it will start first early tomorrow morning. Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, -1 to start the day, and 3 degrees will be the afternoon high. Now, we do have wet snow throughout the day, again, mixing with rain along the lakeshore, and as we head into Tuesday night, we could be looking at 3 to 6, even up to 8 centimeters of snow away from the lake by Wednesday morning. Tonight, down to a low of -1.
This is City News.
There's been a stabbing at Birchmount Park Collegiate on Danforth that sent a 17-year-old boy to hospital with life-threatening injuries.
City's Michelle Mackey's at the scene.
Now, the incident led to a 2.5-hour lockdown that has since been lifted. I am still seeing a few parents and students kind of heading out of the east entrance of the school, and this investigation is ongoing. There are still dozens of police cruisers, paramedics, ambulances, and police tape that lines the front entrance to the high school.
Shortly after 3 o'clock this afternoon, Toronto Police 41 Division responded to a report of a stabbing here at Birchmount Collegiate. Upon their arrival, they located a 17-year-old victim in the office of the school, suffering from an apparent stab wound. We do not believe at this time there is any concern for public safety with respect to a suspect. I cannot share any suspect information with you at this time, but again, I want you to know that we do not believe that there are any concerns for public safety at this point in time.
This is the second stabbing incident at Birchmount Park Collegiate Institute, dating back to the spring when a 14-year-old boy was injured on April 25th. Now, the TDSB says it's unclear whether the school will be open tomorrow. If it is, there will be social workers to support students and staff who may be traumatized. In Scarborough, Michelle Mackey, City News.
City News time 6:34. The Ford government repealed controversial Bill 28 today. CUPE says it remains committed even as the union and province remain far apart in contract talks. This comes as the Ford government unveils its fall economic outlook. City's Richard Southern is at Queen's Park.
The government made good on its promise to repeal Bill 28.
I declare the motion carried.
Cheers from union members in the public galleries here at Queen's Park as that left.
But we're committed.
Meantime, the Ford government tabling its fall economic statement, its mini budget today. There wasn't a single cent in new health care spending in it. As well, the province is back in the red, forecasting a near $13 billion deficit this year. Last year's $2 billion surplus is gone, spent entirely on deficit reduction. I asked Finance Minister Peter Bethenthalvey about it.
Do you think that was the best way to spend $2 billion? Are you comfortable with that?
Absolutely. We have to invest in the future of the province and at the same time be very prudent fiscally.
Green Party leader Mike Schreiner.
Yeah, that money should be invested in healthcare, education, and social services.
The government did announce a doubling of payments to low-income seniors. At Queen's Park, Richard Southern, City News.
Little good news for parents who've had trouble finding children's pain and fever medication. City's Phil Martino tells us Health Canada has secured a supply.
Health Canada has not said how much kids' pain medication supply is coming or where it's being imported from, but has confirmed all imports will meet Canada's manufacturing standards and have instructions in both English and French. In question period, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre asked why the government allowed the shortage to get this bad when other countries are not having similar issues.
That forces our parents to drive south of the border and buy the medications in the United States where they are abundant and in supply and bring them back here. Many people are actually hawking them.
This new shipment of children's painkillers is on top of a previously announced shipment of medicine destined for hospitals. Health Canada says at this time, Canadians should buy only what they need so that other parents and caregivers can access medication so we can meet the needs of sick children. Phil Martino, City News.
City News time 6:37. From feeling like September to looking like January, our meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai tells us the weather is about to take a turn.
A couple of centimeters in the morning, some wet snow mixed with rain through the day for Toronto and 3 degrees. And by tomorrow, late afternoon and evening, that's going to switch back to heavy wet snow, especially Toronto, northward and eastward, including Scarborough and Durham. Watch for 5 to 10
plus centimeters of snow by Wednesday morning.
Those overnight lows are expected to hover below zero for most of the week.
If your drive takes you on the 401 through Mississauga, you may have noticed a difference. City's Jordan Kerr has the scoop on some newly open express lanes.
It's been a long time coming. Express lanes on the westbound 401 between Mississauga Road and Winston Churchill have finally opened. The extra lanes made an immediate positive impact on the morning drive. Usually there's a major traffic jam up approaching Mississauga Road where the express and collectors merge, but with the express lane extension, that did not happen. The westbound 401 express lanes were originally extended between Huron, Ontario and west of Mavis a few years ago, and then a few months ago, another section of express lanes opened between the 407 and Jamestown Parkway. This new section fills in most of that gap. There's still a bit of work to be done in a small stretch between Winston Churchill and the 407. The HOV lane through here is not yet open, and the eastbound express lanes between Jamestown Parkway and east of Mississauga Road are still closed. The whole project expected to be done by the end of the year. With an eye on your roads, Jordan Kerr, City News.
Jay Leno is recovering from burn injuries after a gas fire at his Los Angeles car garage. TMZ's
like PC cranberry vanilla ice cream. Both please. Super your season at Real Canadian Superstore.
So I was just at Shoppers Drug Mart, and they have like hundreds of gifts. I got an electric toothbrush, new fragrances, toys, and I got PC Optima points. My holiday shopping is done. You should totally check it out.
City News Time, 6:41.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Jasmine Graylaw.
Thanks, Liljana. This report brought to you by Best Buy, dealing with two crashes this evening. Eastbound on the Gardner, just east of Spadina. We do have a left lane blocked off. With this collision, it's causing quite the slowdown from Humber Bridge. Another problem westbound on the 401, just west of Renforth and the Collectors. It's a collision affecting the left lane, and that's causing a slowdown from the 427 Collectors. And now for some volume, eastbound 401, expect some slowdowns approaching the southbound 427 ramp. It's also busy from Kipling to east of Keele and the Collectors, and east of Allen and the Express, and slowdowns from east of Westney to east of Salem as well. Northbound on the DVP 404, expect some volume from Don Mills to York Mills, and it's also heavy from the 407 to north of 16th. Southbound on the 400, right at Highway 7 and the Collectors, the left lane is blocked off for maintenance, so that's causing a slowdown approaching the 407 Collectors. And south of the 407 as well, we have two right lanes blocked off for some long-term maintenance. Southbound 404 DVP, expect slowdowns approaching the 401 ramps, and then again approaching Lawrence to the Bayview Bloor ramp. The westbound Gardner is slow approaching Jarvis to west of Strawn, and the southbound 427 is busy from south of Airport to south of the 401. Black Friday month is on now. Get a holiday head start with hundreds of dazzling deals on all the tech they love. Visit them in-store and online at bestbuy.ca. Your next report is at 6:51 with the forecast now. Natasha Ramsahai.
The next 36 to 48 hours, a little bit on the messy side as we head into the early morning commute and wake up to -1. You'll have to A, dress for wind chills at -7, and B, leave extra travel time if you're